Hello, everybody. Welcome to It Was Tuesday with your host, James Chen. Sorry, I was on a little break last week, just chilling after Evo, because Evo always takes the life out of me. It's always just a whirlwind of a weekend. I end up doing so much that when I come back, I usually need a little bit of time off and a little bit of recovery period. So I know Evo was 2 weekends ago, and I'm talking only about Evo now, but I've got a lot to say about this event. So for sure, let's just get right into talking about Evo here. Obviously, for me, Evo holds a very special place in my heart because it is, I've been there since the beginning, man. Like since B3, B4, B5, and then Evo. I was technically Evo staff for the longest of time. I kind of at B4 just started helping the cannons run it. And then they just knew me as someone reliable, and they thanked me afterwards. They're like, thanks for all your help this weekend. And then for B5, I kind of became more staff. And then from that point forward, I was the one who got it at UCLA the next year because I was going to UCLA. So the first Evo at UCLA, I was literally the reason why it was there because I went to UCLA and I knew they had this giant ballroom upstairs from the arcade. And I was like, we should run Evo here. Unfortunately, that year didn't turn out as good as we had hoped. Well, that's a long story. Maybe I'll tell one of these days. But yeah, that one, that Evo did not go very well. But then from there, we moved to Cal Poly Pomona for 2 years, finally to Vegas in Evo 2005. I'd been making the intros, I'd been doing the DVDs, I had been making the trailers for them, all the stuff. Like Zed Depani makes the music for Evo. I was the one who brought Zed into Evo. Seth Mussey for a while was the one who did all the intro videos after I did all the intro videos for each game, and I did them on my own. Like nobody asked me to do it. I was like, every game needs to have an intro video, so I just went and edited my own intro videos, and I was like, hey, you guys should use these, and they were like, yes. And then I got Seth Mussey, who I saw do work for Seasons Beatings, into Evo, so he started making a lot of the intros. So again, I said this before the stream started to my stream. I came up with the Canon Award, etc. I've done so much for Evo that Evo is always going to have a special place in my heart. So it's hard for me not to gush about the tournament. So Evo this year was. It was incredible, right? We had, it's just showing how big the FGC is getting. Now, we're still niche. We're not mainstream yet. I know some people like to think we're mainstream, but we saw, the musician Sexy Red, right? I don't know anything about her. I know she's kind of popular right now, but she literally quote retweeted Punk winning Evo and was like, congratulations. And it was like, wait, what? What just happened here? What just happened? Like, it was the craziest thing. Like I said, a famous up-and-coming musician out there right now. But yeah, she literally quote retweeted Punk's tweet, was like, congratulations. What was Ace King Offsuit's most common misconception of TOing? Can you link me that? Because I would really love to see that tweet. Because again, a lot of people were complaining, like they were like, why aren't the prize oh god, I should talk about the prize money issues too, but they're like, why aren't the prize money higher? Can't Sony just throw money at the tournament? And I'm like, really dude? Like, you really think that this is something that actually happens? I'm like, come on, dude. Come on. It's not how the world works, man. If you've ever done any sort of thing with any company, you just know that, but there's no reaction. Nobody's replied to it yet. It just came out literally this morning. And like literally no one's replied. There's only quote tweets on here. Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to take a look at the quote tweets then and see what they say. But I'll talk about the prize money in just a little bit. Let's just go through this one by one here, talking about everything about Evo over here. So we're going to start with My app is freezing. That is very weird. Let's talk about, one of the first things that a lot of people have been saying about Evo recently, that Evo is more of a convention. Uh, oh, is she Sexy Red is a wrestler? Is she a wrestler, not a musician? Did I get that wrong? Or was she uh, a wrestler and now is a musician? I don't know. I'm not hip with anything, okay? I'm not hip to anything. So, she's a musician. Okay, thank you. She was just on there for a promotional thing. Got it, got it. Okay. Any case, look, Evo is a convention now. It is a convention now. We can't deny that. And there's a lot of competitors out there, a lot of people, old school players who find that as a big negative. They're like, you know what, Evo, it shouldn't be like, it's just a convention now. It's not even a tournament anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Lots of anger, assault. Like, it's lost its identity. They're just out there for money and stuff. Um, like, I hate that. I hate when people say that. I hate when people say that because I always go back to a story that I end up telling about kind of one of the reasons why Evo went this direction. Again, I used to be part of the Evo staff, so I was in a lot of the conversations a long time ago. There was one time, I think it was me, Tom, Chris Lee, I think Tony Cannon might have been there as well, Tom and Tony Cannon. But we were just standing there. This was before Street Fighter 4. And some guy runs up to us and he's like, I'm so excited. This is my first Evo. I've never been to an Evo before. I saved up all this money to come here. I am so happy. Thank you guys. Where can I buy all the merch? And we were like, merch? What? And like literally this guy came to this event expecting to come here and be able to buy all this cool fighting game paraphernalia and all this stuff like that. And there was no merch at Evo. Literally, if you were there and you went 0-2, you had nothing to do at the event at all except watch. And that was it. And that was literally the only thing you could do, or head to the BYOC, which became a free-for-all and was kind of crazy at the time. And so that kind of started the ball rolling on a lot of the conversations, where we were just like, we should probably start thinking about what we can do for merch. And we were coming up with all this wild ideas for merch. And we didn't know what to do. We were like, why don't we sell a toolkit, like with Allen wrenches and screwdrivers and all that stuff like that, branded Evo for your ability to mod your joysticks. Like we were trying to come up with everything that we could think of. Eventually, obviously now that it's getting bigger and, since this is common at conventions anyway, it started going down the artist alley. And what I love about that is that now we are able to sell merch there, but we're supporting the community in doing so. A lot of people are going to talk about the fact that the Artist Alley booths were particularly expensive this year, pricier than they were last year, but almost every artist that I spoke to had said that their sales were going absolutely fantastic. That Evo was clearly, easily one of the most profitable places that they've gone to, that they've sold the most merch there, out of basically like all the cons that they go to. And these are people who go to cons all over the place, and they love it. Like people are like, I didn't bring enough stuff to sell here because normally it doesn't sell out like this at any other event, so like it's really, I love that. I love that, and I love that most of the booths are very fighting game specific. And then the other thing too, so somebody actually in the chat mentioned this, Gundam Jehudi Kai says it was pretty small as a convention anyway. No. That wasn't the one. It was Claro who said before this venue, the Artist Alley and merch space was pretty small. It was way bigger this year. And yeah, that was another thing that the artists talked to me about that they loved. They loved how spacious all the booths were. And you'd be like, wouldn't you want all the booths closer so you get more? No, they loved it because having been to an anime expo in the past 10 years, I can tell you that when you go into their artist alley, it's so cramped that basically anytime you stand still to look at a booth, you're blocking traffic. And this was the case for Evo the previous year. Last year was very similar. If you stood at a booth and were browsing, you were blocking traffic. And so what happens is the tendency now is just to glance and move on, glance and move on. And you don't end up seeing the majority of stuff at a booth. It's not just the big posters in the back. They've got keychains and bookmarks and, all sorts of really, really cool things. And so one of the artists I was talking about, she was just like, I love this. People will stop at my booth and browse, and they'll run into something they didn't initially see and be like, oh my God, I want this. And so they loved it, right? So as far as I can tell, a lot of the artists at Evo really enjoyed it. And like I said, from a merch selling point of view, I'm glad we get to promote the artists. When the artist alley was smaller, I literally went to every booth, took a picture of every booth, grabbed every single business card of theirs that I could find, or take a picture of their contact information on their booth, and I posted a giant thread of every single artist booth at Evo. Last year and the year before that, it just got so big that I couldn't do it anymore. Like, it would have taken me hours and hours to do that. But I used to do that because I wanted to support the artist as much as possible. Especially for being at Evo. I want them to go to Evo and be like, this is the greatest convention that I've been to. Like, I sell so much stuff. So, like, I really, really wanted to promote them. I can't do that anymore. So like, I obviously just try to talk about it as much as I can. So I had a conversation about booth etiquette at conventions with a friend after Anime Expo, and Evo allows people to actually talk to artists compared to cons, since at cons you can't or you're blocking traffic. Yeah, that was the other cool thing too, is they got to talk to people, have conversations with them and stuff. It was really great, honestly. I was really, really happy, for the artists. And again, obviously Evo has to sell their own Evo branded merch because people want that. You usually find that at it used to be at the Gaming Generations booth. I think this year there was either just an Evo booth or it was a Sony booth. I'm not sure what it was, but they do sell some Evo merch. But the majority of the merch that you can buy at Evo is community stuff. And so, as a convention, people are saying, oh my God, Evo's just trying to make money. And, you could say, well, look at how much they're charging the artists for the booth. It was expensive. But they had 3 days this time, as opposed to the previous 2 years, which they only had 2 days, which is why I think the price increased. But, it's something that I'm willing to talk to the Evo guys about maybe trying to make it a little bit cheaper for the artists. But like I said, most of the artists I spoke to said that they did well that weekend. So I'm really, really happy for that. But again, it has to be a convention now. Like, this is the way the Evo has to be. It has to be a convention because there are so many people showing up there who aren't playing. A lot of people that I talked to, that I met for the first time, were like, I was here at Evo last year as a spectator, but I got swept up in all the matches that I just started playing and was like, I need to enter next year. And he was back this year and he played, he didn't go 0-2. And it's just like, that's so cool. But the thing about it is, if you don't make Evo a convention, there's nothing for the spectators to do. So, even though it is more convention than tournament now, it's something that has to be done to bring more people in to play. To watch. And they may become players later on. But again, we can talk about the prize. I'll talk about this a lot more during the prize money conversation that I'll have later on. But the key to growth for everything that's a competitive sport is viewership, viewership, viewership. It's not Sony is going to dump a bunch of money into prize pools because Sony's like, I can burn this money. No, viewership is where everything comes from. That's the most important part. That's how an event grows. That's how a genre grows. It's always going to be viewership based, right? And that's what some of the things people have to understand. But like Forrest says, make it fun for the newcomers. That's so important. So yes, is Evo a convention now? It is. But also, thanks to the Hado, he is doing as much as he can to make it so that there is so much to do there. I've seen some people say, you know what, we didn't need the museum. That space could have been used for something else. I talked to Hado and he was like, I want the museum to be bigger. And you know what? I want the museum to be bigger too. I want it to be bigger. I want the museum to grow and to become something really special, to really showcase a lot of original art and stuff like that. I know that's what Rick wants too. The arcade, like somebody said in the chat, the arcade is free. Like, Evo paid for the guys to bring all the arcade machines there so everyone could play for free and to give everybody an experience of what an arcade was like. And the arcade, yes, was massive. And, one of the guys who's in charge of all the machines, I met at the Level Up Expo. So I actually got to talk to him again here. So he's been doing this for a lot of events. He did it for Level Up Expo as well. Level Up Expo arcade was pretty small. And I asked him, I was like, is this the biggest convention arcade, maybe in the history of conventions? And he said, maybe. He's like, maybe. This might have broken some sort of record. I went and played TGM 3. I played Tetris the Grandmaster 3 in the arcade. In fact, when I was talking to that guy, I was like, where's your Tetris the Grandmaster 3 cabinet? And he's like, let me show you. And so he guided me over there and I sat down and played that a bunch. But, it was like the largest arcade that a convention has ever seen. The only one that I would say that might have been larger, I remember there was a Umicon that I went to a long time ago. And Umicon, that arcade was huge, but that also might just be my memory making it bigger than I remember, because the Evo arcade, the trickiest thing about it is since it's in a giant ballroom, looking at it as a section in the ballroom, it's small, it's pretty big, but if it was just a room itself, that arcade was huge. Yeah, there was 5 to 6 DDR machines. There was a Paradise there. They had all every rhythm game that you could possibly imagine there, dude. It was crazy. Yeah, Fred Crimson. The arcade was absolutely free. You just walked up and everything was set to free play. Just hit the start button and go. And if it was out of credits, you just basically had to ask someone and they would put in credits. Or they installed a credit button somewhere on the machine, I assume. But yeah, the whole thing was free. And it was great. And in fact, Tempest Rob, let me see if I can actually find this here. Again, if you haven't had a chance to, please go to Tempest Rob's Twitter and go look for all of the photos that he took, for Evo, because, Tempest Rob is seriously one of the greatest, photographers there is. For esports. He's so good. In fact, maybe later on we'll go through some of these photos just so you can see how crazy it is. But I'm trying to find a very specific picture he tweeted out that I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm trying to find this picture over here. Oh God, dude. Did you guys see this video after Punk won? This is like one of the craziest videos. Sorry, I'm totally veering here. Did you see this video here? Like, this is Punk coming down the stairs escalator after he won, and everybody's leaving the venue, and like everyone just sees Punk and cheers him, and they like the sea parts for him, dude, and like everyone's cheering him on and applauding him, like. God damn, like I'm, dude, oh shoot. Sorry. Compose yourself, James. Compose yourself. Compose yourself. Oh my God, dude, like, fuck, dude, Evo just makes me so emotional all the time, dude. Like, oh God, it's such an amazing thing, dude. Like, you can't explain it, dude. Like, everyone always like, yeah, I don't know if winning Evo is as big as something else. Oh, hang on. This is Kitty Kaboom's cosplay. She actually dressed as Mudman from World Heroes, which was amazing, by the way. Super awesome. Nice picture there. Oh, I didn't know he got that picture. That's awesome. Mud Woman, yes, sorry, Mud Woman. Okay, here's the picture, and he said that he could only get like half of it. Oh yeah, you can literally see right here that I said that arcade picture though, and he says, and that's like half the arcade, maybe slightly less than half. Like, that's crazy. Look at that, dude. Like, it was ginormous. And yeah, where you actually see this, there's a lot more over to the sides and stuff like that. There, and again, every one of these was free. Every single one of these was free. So again, Evo is paying for that, right? Evo is paying to have a space for all these arcade machines to be played for free so that people had something to do, right? And like I said, they created the Evo Museum as well. And again, Rick was like, this was not as much as I wanted. Like, the plan was for more. And shout outs, by the way, to Mr. Ultra David, getting 100, tied for 100, no, 96th place, like tied for 192nd place, I think it was, at Evo. Dude, he got 4, dude. He did well. And you got Jeremy cheering him on over here. This is so great, dude. I love this. Oh, he had to, that's right, he DQ'd himself because he had to start doing commentary. He had to do commentary, dude. Shout outs to Ultra David, man. Like, I tell you, like, he's so good. Honda's good, man. People have no idea how good Honda really is, man. They had the cosplay contest there. You know, they did all sorts of stuff. And again, so the whole point is that Evo has to be a convention now. If you don't make Evo a convention, it's not going to be fun for a lot of people. The lines to play 2XKO were huge. The lines to play City of the Wolves was huge, okay? The lines everywhere, like, for all these things to do. The arcade was big, the museum was big, etc., etc. It's like, you go there to celebrate fighting games. I've always said that Evo is a celebration of fighting games, right? I always said that, right? Everybody knows my inside joke, right? Which is Evo is a celebration of fighting games. Combo Breaker is a celebration of community. And CEO is a celebration of Jabali, right? That's my joke. But, you know, it's serious because Evo really is a celebration of fighting games. And to be able to have, you know, stuff for everybody that, everybody to do, it makes the event that much more enjoyable, honestly. And it will create newer players. It'll create new players. It'll create new fans. They go to the arena experience and it's a complete life changer. We'll get to that in a little bit because I know a lot of people are like, did they get to the arena, James? Did they get to the arena? Calm yourself down, man. Calm yourself down. Yeah, a lot of competitive games there. Like I know they play a lot of the Gundam games there. Like you said, somebody was setting up the mahjong, et cetera, et cetera. Look, man, I had a talent badge, Gibby. I could go. I went out of the arena to use the bathroom in the staff area and got myself some food and cupcakes to bring back to the arena, and I just walked in, okay? You know why? You know why, Gibby? Because I'm James Chen. That's why. I am James Chen, motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding. Did Sejam really? No. Is he joking? Or I mean, there's the the emote there. I hope that's a joke right over there. No, I got in and out, no problem. So they couldn't get in for a couple of hours? Are you serious? Jesus Christ, dude. That sucks, dude. But they're not motherfucking James Chen, okay? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Jesus Christ, that sucks, man. Okay, let's talk about some of the other stuff here. So I talked about EVO as a convention. Sum up this section here. EVO has to be a convention. That's just all it is. It has to be a convention. Like, if it's the only route to go. If you say that you don't like EVO being more convention than tournament, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. And that's it. Like, that's just all it comes down to. You are wrong.